Oh, y'all thought I was gonna have an opening, huh?
Yes. Oh, here we go.
There it is.
Ow.
Go to the chair. That's what I was waiting on. I was sitting here saying, now what?
You totally thought I was not going to shove pie in your face, don't you? Oh, no, it wasn't. Dick.
I'm not into guys with vaginas.
Oh!
Like,
Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squadron. This is your Welcome to Wolf Tent. I'm your werewolf. Today, we're going to take a little... Well, no, actually, no. We're going to be continuing our Akira manga study pretty soon. Come out next week. But on our way there, we took a pit stop and picked up a very, very obscure movie that Otomo had produced out after say Akira. Actually, we're going to be talking about SteamBoy. One of his earliest achievements, or at least attempt at innovation, if you will. It was a very not so well known movie, and it's also a very crowning achievement of what was to come in the future for anime specifically, where it was a production that put the really tested the animation industry by blending in animation with a bit of digital CGI specifically. Now, we also know that Titan AE attempted that. Anybody remember Titan
Yep.
AE?
I remember Titan AE very well. I still love that movie.
Hell, before that, we also had Anastasia, who also did that as well. No,
Yep.
not as great as Titan AE did.
No. Titan AE was an ambitious project. I'll give him that one.
And it's unfortunate as ambitious projects go, they usually just go and fade into obscurity.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just obscurity, but also people like at the time, like they judged Titan AE very harshly. Well,
Well,
with
we're
the power
going
of
back to
hindsight.
SteamBoy real quick. Well, just
Well,
like
I want to say that SteamBoy, much like Titan AE, was ushering this in, but surprisingly, much like in the ambitious project of Titan AE, SteamBoy kind of gets overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
in the case of both movies, we just weren't ready for it. I was going to say that we were just not ready for it. I would say stuff like that when that stuff happens. That's what I mean specifically. Like the world was just not ready. I don't know how well SteamBoy would have done if it was released anywhere, maybe say 2008, maybe.
I don't know. See, that's the interesting thing is you don't know what era this movie would have been comfortable in. I think maybe it was just one of those movies. It has, you know what it is? It's a cult following. It's got a cult following.
Definitely.
And sometimes the best movies are the ones that have a cult following to it.
So since
You
we're
got that
talking,
right.
let's get on with the introduction. Start with the lovely Leia Valor, Leia plus size.
Good evening, everybody. This is Leia Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor, and I'm glad you could join us this evening for this discussion of this anime spotlight of SteamBoy. I have to admit that I am going to be listening along as my fellow colleagues go into a deeper dive into this anime. But if you have any questions for us, or if you have any comments of your
own, stop that lying.
What am I lying?
What? That you watched it.
I watched it, but
yay! Leia finally watched something.
Oh my god!
You know I was gonna rub it in. Like soon as she contacted us that she watched it on me, my face just beamed up.
Now, here's the funny thing: his face beamed up, but then go ahead, Leia. Tell her what you said. Tell her what you said next.
I didn't have the passion for it the way the rest of you have, so I was going to be more of a listener as
Mhm.
to the dynamics of this story, because even though I watched it, my heart just wasn't in it. I didn't want to
Funny
bring
enough,
down the
there's actually
team.
a character that reflected Leia.
And that's the hilarious thing is that Wolf didn't care. It's like you watched it. That's all I care about. You watched it.
That's all you need to know.
she'll be the she'll be the opposing voice in this stream. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure you have a lot to say, Leia. I'm sure. I'm sure there's some things that you critiqued about, and there's some things that you were wowed about. I'm sure there was some wow factor to it. In fact, I need to suggest it to freaking Professor Geek of all people. I want to see him tear into this one.
Well, we'll see
I
if he
want
can
to.
fit it in during the You know what? Maybe we can work it in during the wedding ceremony. You know what? Better yet, let's see if he can work it into his. Better yet, let's see if he can work it into his toast.
Oh no no no
Yes.
no! We'll wait for him to get to
He'll
tie the knot first.
he'll say, on this day, this wonderful day of my life, I watched SteamBoy.
Yeah, because
Next,
I
we'll have to
imagine him
give him
saying
some space
that.
while sound is roosting. But yeah, yeah. Finally, Leia watched something. I figured, like I said, I figured it for her speed. I think we will have to invite her when we do animated movies mostly,
Yeah.
or anime spotlights. I think we're going to have to
Mhm.
just do that with her from now on, because if it's a series, it'll be an undertaker for her, which I understand.
At
I
the very
wholeheartedly
least, if it is going to be a series, let's have it be series that stop at like 13 episodes or better yet, 10.
hmm for her to at least like get enough time in, because we know she's a busy woman.
Hmm.
We still need you on the manga study.
Me? See,
Yes,
I'm not
Yes,
you're a
that
please.
familiar.
squad. You're a squad mate. I know. We know. We just you're journeying along with us. Don't worry, Leia. We got something for you too. We got the Lord of the Rings trilogy coming up.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yes, no, that one I will be very ready for.
Don't
I
worry.
no
There's some,
shade.
look. My mission is always try to provide something for everybody. There's always something for everybody. It's not just catering to one side of things, you know.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
so next will be the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings, YouTube viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans. This is Final Fantasy Fan 012, and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacing Wolf Squadron. This time doing another anime spotlight video covering an anime movie, SteamBoy. The, the second animated movie was by Otomo.
Guess Katsuhiro Otomo.
Yeah, Katsuhiro Otomo after the Akira animated movie, as
Which
well
was
as the
another
manga.
crowning achievement in animation. Go on.
I'm done.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah.
Okay. I move on to the next knucklehead then. The Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us in tonight's live stream. As tonight we will be talking about another work from Otomo, SteamBoy. And hope you survive the experience.
That's it. Okay. Last but not least, my wingman, my Iceman to my Maverick, the Schooner Tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground, but with excellent Wi-Fi. This is Schooner Tuna, and yeah, well, what can I say about this that hasn't already been said? Let us go full steam ahead.
Well, let me start by
I see what you did there.
let's start with the synopsis from good old Wikipedia. SteamBoy is a 2004 Japanese animated steampunk action film produced by Sunrise, directed and co-written by Katsuhiro Otomo, and his second major anime release as director following Akira 1988. The film was released in Japan by Toho, the Toho, on July 17, 2004. SteamBoy was the most expensive Japanese anime film up until Then with a 2.4 billion, 26 million yen production budget, have been in production for 10 years and utilizing more than let's see how I'm gonna say this. One 1,080,000. Is that how you say that?
1,008,000. Yeah,
Eight
exactly.
eight 8,000 drawings and 440 CGI cuts or CG cuts. Jesus
Yep.
Christ. That mad lad, man. Plot synopsis is in 1863, where alternate 19th century Europe was made tremendous strides in steam powered technologies. Scientist Lloyd Steam, and his son, Edward Eddie Steam, have succeeded in discovering a pure mineral water in Iceland, which they believe can be harnessed as a nearly unlimited power source for steam engines. An experiment in Russian Alaska goes horribly wrong, with A being engulfed in freezing gases, but results in the creation of a spherical device. 3 years later, Lloyd sends the device along with its schematics to his grandson and Eddie's son, James Ray Steam, who works as a maintenance boy in Manchester, England, along with instructions to guard it. Members of the O'Hara Foundation arrive and attempt to steal the spear, but Lloyd appears, stating that the device killed Eddie and bids James to flee and deliver the device to Robert Stevenson. That Robert Stevenson. We'll get into him later. After fleeing, the O'Hara agents on his personal steam-powered monowheel, excuse me, yes, that monowheel. That thing's a real thing too. Holy shit.
Yep.
James briefly meets Stevenson on a train headed to headed into Manchester, but James, along with the device, are captured by the O'Hara agents in a dirigible. That is a Zeppelin for the uninitiated.
Mhm.
James is taken to London, where preparations are being made for the 1866 Grand Expedition, and meets Scarlett O'Hara St. Jones, the spoiled granddaughter of the Foundation's head chairman, Archibald Simon O'Hara. He also discovers Eddie alive but severely scarred and mechanized from his injuries in Alaska working with O'Hara in the Steam Castle, an elaborate facility entirely powered by three devices called steam balls, one of which is the device sent to James. James is enamored by both by the castle and his father's vision of using it to enlighten mankind, and volunteers to help complete the project. He begins to develop a love-hate friendship with Scarlett, who is attracted to him. James encounters Lord again, who is captured by O'Hara, but has escaped from his cell and attempted such cuts, revealing that the Foundation's true intentions for the expedition to sell weapons of war. Lord shows James a hidden sorry, not memory, armory filled with massive steam-powered war machines built by Eddie, and James struggles with the moral dichotomy of being a scientist, of how to contribute to the world without giving into vanity, leaving him conflicted to whether side with Lloyd or Edward, who themselves have become estranged. That's all I'm going to read.
Well, yeah, you pretty much got most of the movie pretty good right there.
Uh,
Hmm.
props to the article writer for writing it that way
Yep.
without giving much away. That I mean, it gives enough, but it's it's enough to give. You can slap that. You can easily slap that at the back of the DVD case, if
Oh
you
yeah.
will. You know, it gives you the basic
Well, that's the thing.
struggle
It gives the
and all that
base.
stuff.
Well, that's the thing too. It's a pretty straightforward story. The real passion of this story lies within the animation and the CG blend.
Hmm.
I will say this too. Just right off the top, the aesthetic of this steampunk film is 100% unique and one of the best. This should be a gold standard of how to do steampunk.
Indeed.
Is one of my gold standards. That
Yeah.
oh my goodness, I have to search through my mind to find out which steampunk movie out there that actually did it right. like literally right, or at least what steampunk game did it right, or what steampunk TV series did it right.
This is definitely among them.
Hmm.
Well,
So
because
yeah, if
I
you
think
guys ever, excuse me, if you guys ever wondered how to write good CGI story, or what, or do you want to know what goes into a steampunk story? Look no further than this anime.
yeah, yeah, and it's because it actually tries to do steampunk in a practical manner. You can have the really cool futuristic weapons and tech, but keep it grounded.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like what I like about this is that it's clearly they've made a technological leap forward, but what I kind of it's kind of similar to what you see in almost like the superhero stories of Captain America, the first Avenger. It's like, okay, submarines are clearly a thing, but back in 1940s, that was unheard of. But this movie, it's like, yes, we know that there are jetpacks and there are people who used zeppelins, but these are like very steampunkish and advanced for the time. It's not like these weapons are also infallible. No, they are faulty. You actually can see rust. You can see how difficult it is to maneuver with them. I mean, heck, there's this scene in the opening sequence where you actually have a locomotive driving as if it was a car, but the problem is that it's very big and it's very massive, and maneuvering it is difficult, and you're going full power and full steam ahead, you're going to cause some collateral damage. Or and another thing that I loved is that Zeppelin that was coming down to take to try to take James, is that, yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, we got a train scene and now here comes the Zeppelin that's going to take it. But the futuristic devices are limited, because you see that they were about to run into a train station and they were like going, we got to get up, we got to get out of here quick, because yes, this Zeppelin is an amazing and remarkable feat of engineering, but it is not invincible. It can be destroyed and it can be damaged. And it's like, and this is another thing that I loved. It's like the bad guys are clearly on a budget here. It's like, we only got like one, maybe two of these at our disposal right now, so let's not damage it. You know what I mean? And I like that. It's like see, what I'm saying is I love the practicality of this movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you really want to say that this movie really, the moment the movie really jumps into the uncanny valley is really when we get to the third act with Steam Castle. That's when it really jumps into the major uncanny valley. And you guys can jump in. I'm sorry if I'm hogging the spotlight here, or are you just so enamored with my voice and how I am explaining it?
We are very enamored with your voice, Scooney.
I could teach a course.
Yes, you could. Yes, you could. You could be a professor or apprentice to Professor Geek. Apprentice Scooney. I like the way that sounds.
Apprentice Scooney. No. It's Professor Geek and his TA Scooney.
Yes, that's yes. I like the way that sounds. That sounds good. That's a great title.
But that's. Oh, go ahead, Leia.
No. I like I said, I'm going to be honest, kind of quiet for this stream, because it didn't reach me the way it reached all of you. So I was just going to listen to what you and Wolf had to say, and maybe you'll bring up some things that probably I just missed. Like I said, anime is a genre that I have to warm up to. I have to be very, very honest about it here. And so I may not be as enthusiastic or passionate the way the rest of you are with it. So I was just going to listen to you all bring out the points of what you think from it and why you like it and why you recommend it and what makes it stand out from other animes, what makes it different. I mean, is this character in a series? Like I said, I don't know much. Is it a series? Is it a whole movie? Did it have sequels?
Yeah.
What went on with this SteamBoy?
We'll get into that pretty soon on a dilemma that I have with this movie.
Okay.
Don't worry. We'll get into that.
All right. Well,
But do you guys agree with me that you think that this actually did a really grounded approach with steampunk?
I mean, it looks like it's. I mean, it looks like it should set the standard for a steampunk story, like what it should be, like what a
Yeah.
steampunk story should be.
At the same, at the
Bless you.
same time, like it allows itself to be loose and not be too grounded.
Yeah. When we get,
Also,
but at that point, when we get into the uncanny valley, we had already invested ourselves so much into these characters that we're willing to let it slide.
there's also the philosophies that's still intact. It's
Oh yeah.
it really does shall I say capitalizes on both of the philosophies of what science and technology brings and the hubris that follows.
Well, exactly, with the progress of technology and in the advancement of science, so too comes the I guess want to say the hubris of humanity or the overreaching. And that's another thing that I found to be really interesting is that the character of Aaron was that the character of
Dang.
Aaron, I'm sorry, God, James. I keep saying Aaron for some reason. James Steam is that his grandfather told him to take it to Ray Stevenson, who, by the way, another thing I want to point out, okay, if you're going to do steampunk, you got to have three essential things. One, it's either taking place in the industrial age or the Victorian era. Two, everything is powered by steam, which means there's a heavy focus on steam, coal, and you can even show a small exploration into the alternative fuels that they are looking for. And three, always and forever, you got to have, at the very least, historical figures within this fictitious setting. Robert Stevenson was actually, believe it or not, a real life inventor. He is known as the father of the railroads. And it's really cool because I like how they're showing him in the movie. They're kind of portraying him as a hero or as the opposing force to Eddie and the O'Hara Foundation for what they're trying to do. But it's later revealed that no, he's just a competing scientist. He's a competing scientist and he's looking for the edge, just like what he's what was it? James discovers that that's basically what Robert Stevenson was at the very end. He was just another scientist. He was no different than the O'Hara Foundation. And that, again, it's the double-edged sword of science. Yes, progress is coming, but everybody was trying to get an edge on somebody else. Now, to Robert Stevenson's credit, while he wanted it because while he is the competition, he is also a 100% a patriot to the British Empire. And he's saying that's the problem I have with the O'Hara Foundation is that they're not working with the British government, and these guys are pretty much too freelance here, and they're making these hyper advanced weapons that they could sell basically to anybody. So we got to get our hands on this technology for the safety of the nation. So you could say that he's a patriot to the British Empire, and that's kind of a forgivable action. But at the same time, it's a very that's reaching.
Yeah, want to jump in before I get it?
Unless if you're about to be prepared to say something.
You go ahead, Final, if you want to, or Dom. I want to hear you guys.
Yeah, I'm actually with Neostar in the comments, like, SteamBoy, the anime I never got around to watching.
It's okay.
Wait,
it's all right.
Oh, you did watch it, right?
No,
Oh,
never
son
got
of a-
around to watching.
Well, okay, Final, I got a question. What do you believe is the gold standard should be for steampunk? You said it in the backwatch. Say it now here.
A gold standard for steampunk. I did say that this one was.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it looks like this should be.
Yeah, but in your opinion, what should every steampunk genre have? Because I gave my 2 cents on what I think steampunk needs to have, but what do you think it needs?
really much depends, really. I never, to be honest, I've never really read a lot of steampunk stuff. I mean, the only steampunk that I could think of on the top of my mind, at least, of course, would be is Final Fantasy VII. Because come on, it is set in a steampunk setting.
Yeah.
You think so?
It is.
Yeah, I
Well,
think it is.
the Mako is in the place for a steampunk, but used as fuel in Midgar, which essentially is a
I argue
steampunk
it'd be
area.
Final Fantasy VI.
No, that's Gaslight Fantasy because they're using magic for fuel.
You think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
because if you're using technology, magic infusing to fuel technology, then that's a Gaslight Fantasy.
Or Magitech,
Yes,
as others would call it.
yes, that's the standard. Yeah, that's where they would use magic for technology. Seven is full on steampunk because I mean, look at the aesthetics of the characters. I mean, look at Cloud Barrett. He is actually steampunk. They have freaking guns. Well, that's not powered by magic because they actually use flintlock because they are real guns.
Yeah, and it's also in Final Fantasy VII. It's more it leans more into the science fiction realm of steampunk than fantasy.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's still the fantasy is a thing because I mean, of course, it's Final Fantasy because of course it would be. But you always need to lean in more. Not only would lean into the more of the technology thing, but this is the thing. Even with steampunk, that this anime right now, especially in the cyberpunk genre, that it would have to delve in between the technology, the relationship between humanity as well as technology and science. That's what it would need to delve into. With steampunk's case, it's the nature. It's actually the nature like this one here. It's just the dichotomy of science. Like science is a double-edged sword, but with technology's case for the cyberpunk, where humans would either use technology just to either to live forever, or just use cybernetic augmentations just for the uh, j- yeah, just for this reason. And if everybody's just now a robot just for that, and being human is such a foreign concept, again, the cyberpunk series, being human is such a foreign concept, so it needs to delve within this relationship. Ghost in the Shell is another example of a cyberpunk story.
Yet, yeah, what makes Ghost in the Shell stand out from its peers is it's not cynical and dystopian, like some works like with a cyberpunk setting.
Yeah,
However, it's not overly idealistic either. It's on a very sweet middle ground between the two in the sliding scale between idealism and versus cynicism.
right.
And
And
I think and I think that's what I love about and I think that's what I like about Steam Boy too is that this really does that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna say like in Steam Boy's case, like all sides of the argument in regards to humanity's relationship with science science and technology, since they are one of the two major aspects in the progress of civilization. All sides gets a fair shake, and neither are painted as villainous.
Right. Like, or another example of cyberpunk, RoboCop, the original RoboCop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't have a problem with steampunk stories or movies as long as they're done in a creative way.
Uh, Let me ask you this, Leia.
Hmm.
Let me go ahead and ask you this. Did you get a sense of a hero's journey in this movie?
Um, somewhat, somewhat.
I mean, did the boy James himself strike you as a hero that you would want to believe in? Considering
I
that,
go ahead, finish your
go on.
question. No,
Considering that he was almost led on by the cruel ambitions of his father, only brought back down to earth by the ever so wizened grandfather.
I somewhat got that. I guess the equivalent would be Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, where Luke is more encouraged by Obi-Wan than maybe his own uncle. Now that's what I think it was trying to go for. I mean, this is from what I got from it. I think they were trying to go somewhat like that. Not 100%, but somewhat like that. That's just, you're asking me, so I'm giving you an honest answer. And so I guess somewhat that's how I kind of see it as.
It was there. I would say it was there.
Yes, it was there somewhat. Maybe not in the way I would like it to have been, but it was there somewhat. Yeah.
You have your it, you have your own standards. That's fine.
Hmm.
Like Luke is the gold standard of what makes the hero's journey work, or at least what makes it a hero's journey. And I feel like there was some Luke Skywalker, if Ben Kenobi was his legit grandfather and Darth Vader what was his dad, you know. I mean, you got to think of it like this. I mean, the moment he comes in, you said my father was dead. No, your father lives.
Yes,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Bit off topic. See Neil Star's comment. So wait, why is it called gaslight and not gas punk? Because gaslighting is another term for manipulation. Even if you know psychology terms, by definition, gaslighting meaning manipulating someone to make them doubt their sanity or reality. So with a gaslight fantasy, like the case Final Fantasy VI or the Skies of Arcadia, if it is a gaslight fantasy, they would manipulate magic into using it as fuel in order to fuel technology. But in the case of steampunk, they would need to use steam or coal in order to use it as fuel for a lot of technological wonders, such as a steam powered locomotive.
Right.
Hmm. But even in the beginning of Steam Boy, like we see like Eddie and the other miners like in a cave like filled with stalagmites. However, they were dripping like pure mineral water, and they want to use that like as another source of as an unlimited power source, or
Hmm.
an alternative source of energy, if you will.
Right, and that's why even with the steampunk, like in the steampunk world of Gaia, or actually Gaia of Midgar, in the world of Gaia, in the setting of Final Fantasy VII, they're only using that just for corporate reasons, just for their own ends. They would use it as manipulation for a whole entire city, for their own nation, just to get some income because Shinra is a corporate company. And this is when those eco-terrorists, the Avalanche group, the eco-terrorists, they would need to actually destroy that because in reality, while it's helping people, it's destroying the planet in
We're
reality.
overlooking something from that scene versus what comes later on. Did you notice that in the beginning, Lloyd was pushing everybody to get the levels,
Yep, I
Yeah,
did.
I noticed it too.
whereas Eddie was how would you say it? He was warning his father.
Eddie was warning his father. It's that, you're trying to sabotage me, but are you really looking at the long game here? Because if you sabotage this castle, it's not just destroying this castle, you're going to be destroying a large portion of people.
Hmm.
I was
You
saying
know?
like their roles reversed,
Oh,
whereas
yeah. At the
whereas
beginning of the
Lloyd
movie, yeah,
Lloyd was
that's what I
overly
did.
ambitious. Vicious. He was pushing his fellow men to raise the levels and try to keep them stable. And his son paid the almost excuse me almost paid the price for it.
Yep.
Hmm.
Like he was arguing with his father to shut it down and start again. I believe. And and again when he went out of his way to fix the pipe is goodness gracious, there's a lot. This is an engineer's wet dream movie.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever time I heard the pipes, I'm like, oh my goodness. I like how many engineers will watch this and freaking just just oh trying
Precisely.
to I'm trying to keep myself from saying something vulgar. I make no
Yeah.
promises.
They got the artist eyes.
Well,
It's like,
and
oh,
that's
this
another
is
thing.
freaking interesting.
Well, let's just say they laid down the piping very firmly for this movie,
I mean,
and they began
you could
to
almost
grease and stroke it very well to the almost authenticity. I mean, it's very authentic.
you could almost play a drinking game when it comes to pipes.
Hmm.
When every time the word pipes and machinery or any form of machinery gets mentioned over like multiple times, it kills me sometimes. How many times I heard pipes? I'm like dang, like if I play a drinking game with this, I might get drunk. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
Well, and
yeah.
that's another thing too. It's trying to
And
go.
you'll be
I mean,
drinking under the table.
yeah. What I'm trying to say, but I actually think that this is where the movie really shines, is that not only is it trying to be practical, but they do introduce some really good scientific terms. I mean, especially how they're explaining how you pressurize steam, and this is how it gets the mechanism moving.
Hmm.
let's take a break real quick and talk about the star power in the dub.
Oh yeah.
Because how here's the thing, the dubbing is fine, but the syncing, I'm not sure if it was the site Zoro TO's mishap or my computer's mishap, but there was some moments where this is old school dubbing, by the way. Some of the lines don't mesh well with the lip movement.
Hmm.
You guys ever noticed that when y'all were watching it? You
Oh
guys ever
yeah.
have a
Um,
problem with that?
Well,
I
yeah.
was,
That's
I was I was actually
basically.
watching the movie with the English subtitles.
Hmm.
No,
You watching this
I didn't watch the.
freaking weeb. Kidding. So believe it or not,
Well, to be
the
fair, you didn't.
very the
To be
actor,
fair,
or
Wolf,
should
you
I,
didn't clarify on how we should watch the movie, either the English subtitles or the dub.
no, I did not. I gave it to you guys. You watch it however you want it.
Hmm.
Just know that I'm gonna watch it dub. I'm a fucking heathen, okay?
Oh goodness, dub, not dub.
I,
It's so.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm not opposed to dubs. It depends. It depends on how well it's executed. Besides the translation.
So y'all ready for me to get into the casting?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Do it.
one, believe it or not, who voiced James Ray's Steam was Anna Paquin. Yes, that
Yep.
Anna Paquin.
Oh yeah. That's
Oh,
right. The woman who played
Rogue
Rogue from the X-Men movies.
and
voiced
Suki
the
from
boy.
True Blood.
Oh wow.
And
All
Suki
right.
from True Blood.
Yeah. Mhm.
Voiced Ray. This was she would mind you, she is not a a a a foreigner when it comes to voicing anime characters. I believe she also did some voice work elsewhere in some other anime, some Ghibli films as well. I believe.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure
Well,
out which one was it.
well,
I think
kudos
she
to
was
her on
Natsuka
this.
actually. Was she Natsuka?
I don't know who that is.
Uh,
Nausicaa, Secret of the Wind.
Valley of the Wind.
Valley of the Wind.
Give me a sec,
yeah. Wait. I think she was.
because she was young back then. You gotta remember age is a factor here.
Hmm.
Wherever you when you look back at that. So 2004, she would have been Rogue's age in the X-Men movie at this point,
Yeah.
or at least looking like Rogue's age in the X-Men movie. Let me look up her pedigree real quick. Let's see what she voiced. I know she voiced a lot of anime.
Well, kudos to her. I didn't recognize her voice as I was watching it.
Well, she's not a native American born.
Right.
She
Yeah,
was
she's.
she's a New Zealander born in Canada. That's what her Wikipedia said. Uh, um, let me look up. Okay. It's really not. Damn, IMDb, where the fuck you sleeping on in her filmography? Okay, 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 okay. There's more. There's more. I done condensed this shit. Bad form. Bad form. Ooh, I love her in Fly Away Home.
Yes, I
Oh,
remember her in that.
she was Sheeta from Laputa, Castle in the Sky. Actually,
Oh,
wrong Julie film.
Lashita. Yes. Oh my gosh.
The Disney dub, as it's called. Wow,
The Disney
funny.
dub. Well, because you have to know this is that John Lasseter and Pixar got an exclusive deal with Studio Ghibli.
She was in Amistad as Queen Isabella.
Yep. What a wicked little queen she was.
Oh,
And
I
she was
don't even
also in
remember that.
She's All That.
Well,
Didn't
I'm
know
all
this.
that too.
I don't remember her in that one.
She was in Finding Forrester.
Oh.
I was paying too much attention to Busta Rhymes being in there.
Yeah, see, you don't yet look over her. Probably at that time, but now that some of her have come to know her
James
from
Ray
film.
Steen, The Squid and the Whale. She was in a TV movie, Joan of Arc, as Joan. Must have been animated. Blue State, Retreat, Romantics. I'm overlooking the obvious shit. She was
Yeah.
Scream 4
Yes, I do remember her. She did a cameo, a fun little cameo in that.
as Rachel.
Hmm. She was she did a cameo as the typical blonde in a horror movie. That
Okay. She was a voice of Kristen in Phineas and Ferb one episode. She was Ramsey in The Good Dinosaur. I wouldn't know because I didn't watch that movie. Didn't want to. That shit look ugly. Damn it. Damn it, Pixar. You guys are falling off the handle, man. Y'all making ugly characters these days.
Oh, they're falling off the handle
Oh,
big time.
Of
yeah,
course, she was
and of
Brenda
course,
Mjolnir in American Underdog, Christian film.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right. I said it.
Which,
It's a Christian film.
which by the way, American Underdog is a great movie.
It
You
is.
haven't seen it?
It
Check it out.
is. It
Check it
is.
out.
I've seen it. She bounced off of Zachary Levy really well in that movie,
Hmm. They
and
should do more movies together.
she does a really good. She still got that country accent going. Scarlett O'Hara Jones was voiced by Kerry Walgren.
Yep.
Haruko Harahara from FLCL,
Yep. Fully coolly. Fully
and some
coolly.
other shit I can't put my finger on right now.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not gonna be lazy tonight. I'm gonna look up her pedigree. Damn it.
are
Okay.
well,
Well, we're also gonna go. We're
people
also
also
gonna go.
recognize her for people also recognize her as Arturia Pendragon's voice from the Nostiverse.
Look at this overachiever.
Oh,
Can't even let me have one thing. One thing, damn it. I'm looking up shit. Look at Don trying to be an overachiever. I'm fucking with him.
uh, but what's great is Eddie Steam
Jesus
is
Christ is a laundry list of shit she been in. I had to
Eddie
take the whole
Steam.
thing and scroll all the way fucking down.
Is there anything
E-
on there you're familiar with?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Go on, Schooner.
Eddie Steam is voiced by
You
Alfred
motherfucker.
Molina.
You gonna jump ahead of us. What the hell wrong with you?
Well, because we're getting to the star cast here, and I'm just looking at the time.
Alfred
Um,
Molina's. I didn't know
Alfred
that.
Molina.
But
Yep. Doc Ock. He played the dad. And of
yes.
course, we all know look. We all know the one actor we can actually name in this movie. Okay, the
And recognize his
grandfather
voice.
was voiced by Patrick Stewart.
Immediately,
Oh
I
yes,
recognized that
yes.
voice.
Me
I mean,
too.
we all knew Patrick Stewart's voice. He has a very distinct voice.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, she did a
Hmm.
lot of anime, starting with Cardcaptor Sakura, Gundam, also Gundam F91, Barbie and the Rockers Out of This World, Black Jack, Fighting Spirit,
Hey,
FLCL,
Barbie and the
Figure
Rockers.
17. Mirage of Blaze, Xenosaga Episode 1, Chobits. Oh, very popular ones. Popular Raid Master. Holy shit, Raid Master. She was Haru Glory, the young version. Jesus. Galarian's Rion. She was Lilia. That was. We're gonna tackle that one day. Galarian's Rion. One of the first anime that actually uses 3D graphics, aka they just put all the fucking cutscenes from the game together and fill in all the rest. Oh, she was Robin Cena in Witch Hunter Robin. Nana Space Pirate Captain Harlock Outside Legend. Star Ocean to the end of time. She was Mirage.
Didn't Alfred Molina voice one of the gods in Justice League? I think he was the voice of someone
He
in a
was he was the voice of Ares in the Wonder Woman 2009 animated film.
Yes, he was.
Yes. Okay. I know he was part of the.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was.
He was Ares in the animated Wonder Woman. Now that you got me started, I'm gonna fucking quote that motherfucker now. You're
Oh,
welcome.
oh. we had to trigger him.
Can I just say this? I'm going to say it too. Alfred Molina, no matter what role he's in, he gives 110%. Even, which is funny because when they were interviewing him for Spider-Man No Way Home, I love the fact that he was there with Jamie Foxx and with William Dafoe, and Dafoe and Jamie Foxx were saying like, we wanted to come back for these characters because we really loved being these characters so much. But when they get to Molina, he says it was the money. 100%. It was the money, 100%.
Yeah.
But he did not. But for No Way Home, he did not phone in his performance.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you. I agree 100%. I think this was my favorite performance of the three guys next to maybe Defoe, but he was my favorite because he didn't phone it in. He gave 1,000. Yeah, you're right
You
about.
You could tell Defoe and even Jamie Foxx were enjoying the roles that they were in. They were having fun. But even Molina, by his own admittance, he said that it was the money. The money was great, and he took the money and he ran. But because he is a stage actor, and for him, this is not just a paycheck. This is an art. Much like Patrick Stewart, this is an art. So he doesn't phone in a performance. He gives his this may not be my best performance, but I'm gonna give you the best that I can.
How
Yeah.
would you stop me now that my powers rival that of any god? I'm as strong as Hercules, as fast as Hermes, and now, like Hades, I will dominion over the dead, which allows me to unleash my own worst curse upon your people. Amazon dead, I command you to come to your lord. Slaughter your sisters.
Oh yeah, he was also the voice of another DC character. Can you guess who it is?
No.
Or actually, no. Actually, yeah, don't guess that. He was Lex Luthor in Robot Chicken, the DC comic special.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I love it. Oh my god, I love it.
Yeah.
That's the same. You know what I love? That's a beautiful little Easter egg. That was just as beautiful as Lego Batman and Billy D. Williams was voicing Lego Two-Face.
Uh-huh.
Your
I'm
early
like, he
nephew.
finally got his. I'm like going, he finally got that role, but in
Oh yeah,
another
Neostar
universe.
actually found out. Neostar actually knew about this too.
Yep,
Your
exactly.
early nephew. Not that I don't cherish your company, my dear uncle, but I'm afraid I'm only visiting today. You are here for a favor. I am. Perhaps then you can enlighten me as to why you think I would remove your bonds. Is it because I long for a return for your power crazed ways? Or maybe I wish to see you act again without regard for your divine brothers and sisters? Or is it simply because I'm so easily manipulated like a dog and obey any command? It is simplicity itself. Once these bands are removed, I will wage a war against humanity like the likes of which this world has never seen. Its populace will choke on death, and you will be flooded with more service to glorify you, and you will possibly know what to do with it. I
Can
was
I
love.
also say this too? The fact that the voice of Hades is Oliver Platt. Oh, he's always good. See, Oliver Platt unfortunately got typecast as playing these real scum characters.
Yeah.
At
But I
least
think what I like about this version of Hades, that version of Hades, and I know we're off topic, but we'll get back to it. I think what I love about this version of Hades in the Wonder Woman 2009 movie is that he's actually, his skill is his cunning manipulation. That's what I loved about it. In this version, Hades was more of a manipulator. He was not like, oh, I'm big, I'm mighty, I'm powerful. No, he's a very overweight, very like Baron Harkonnen, but he is 100% crafty.
he has no, he takes no, he takes no joy in the affairs of the gods themselves, even if it is then his nieces and nephews. Like this one, a tragedy, a terrible, terrible tragedy. How it weighs on my heart to see you like this. When my brother asked me not to remove your bands, he said I was only doing you. That he could not save you from yourself yet again. Perhaps I should have listened. He's got this sinister grin, and it's
Well,
Ares and his son just standing as his
servant,
servant.
his servant. Now he has the god of war. Wait, basically, if Wonder Woman had gotten a sequel, I do truly believe Wonder Woman would have had to have gone up against Hades at some point because they were clearly setting him up.
I think he was just doing that.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was going to do it for shits and giggles.
Well, and that's basically what Hades. But that's what I liked about that version of Hades. But we don't see much of the other gods and goddesses. But we could definitely tell through the subtleties they're all a force to be reckoned with.
Hmm I love. Well, you know what? Let's get into the Wonder Woman animation sometime later.
Yeah.
We'll freaking salivate over that shit anytime.
Getting back to SteamBoy, however, I will say that the one thing that really, I think the third act of this movie is really what brings it home.
A crescendo.
A crescendo, exactly. We finally get to see Steam Castle as it was meant to be. We got to see a battle going on between Scotland Yard and the
Oh
O'Hara
God, the
and the
amount of
O'Hara
times
Foundation.
the amount of times it went to straight up Ghibli territory is insane.
I know, yeah, that's another thing that I love.
Where
There's
things are
definitely
happening and
homages.
people are running.
Yep.
Things and debris just flying everywhere and people are running. There's a specific run that you don't know of, Leia, until we get you into a studio Ghibli film. I call it the Ghibli run.
I love the Ghibli run.
That's what I call it. I should have called it the Ghibli run, where everybody is like you could hold anything in your hand and you're running like a fucking cartoon from Looney Tunes.
Mm-hmm.
They've got this brisk step, this
Yep.
brisk sprint, where they're just running, just and they just don't miss a beat. They
Nope.
don't miss a beat. They don't even trip. And
I think
it was present here in SteamBoy. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
Akira had a few times as well, but like, I mean, you can call it the anime run before the Naruto run was also invented, but I call it the Ghibli run because damn it, they run with this half lean. It's like they're running forward and they just like you can carry anything while running like that. Just defy
Yep.
all the laws of physics with that run, and they're just running, trip over, run, keep their pace, keep their balance and stuff, while shit just fly everywhere behind them, in front of them, around them. You got people flying
Yep.
overhead. You got people grabbing another person. They could be shit could be happening around you, and you're just focused on this fucking run.
I think what I also love about that scene too that I love is that inside the science exhibition, you got these people talking, and you got this guy saying a prayer. The queen, of course, is there, and then one of her servants is like going, "My queen, we have an emergency outside. We have to go." So she gets up and walks out all casual while the priest is still giving the sermon. And outside, there's like a massive battle going on. And the people inside the the science exhibition are just watching and spectating. And I just thought that was hilarious. And I thought that was actually pretty cool how Scotland Yard was going up against the armored knights. That was pretty cool.
Oh god, the armored knights. This was CGI before the CGI model soldiers before the CGI model soldiers came into being, and it was done way better here than it was in say Fullmetal Alchemist: The Conqueror Shambhala.
Oh yeah.
And later forms of anime where they just use that for run and horse animations now. It's sad to see that being overused and blocky as it is. Oh, don't even get me started on the aqua core.
The aqua core of
and the aerial core.
mm-hmm.
Oh
actually,
my goodness.
I do think this is one of my favorite. Oh, go ahead, Wolf. Sorry.
This is why I say this is one of my gold standards of freaking steampunk, because these motherfuckers are testing out all kinds of manner of technology and they're fucking up. Mind you, it's a small battle, but it's not a clean battle, but it's also a very clumsy battle.
Yeah. That's
like,
one thing.
You got the aerial core just like you've been trained for this. You know the steps. Get your ass out there and fight. Just kick the dude off. And the dude starts flying and he crashes right into an assembly. You got another
first he drops his bombs effectively as he should, but it's clear he cannot maneuver properly.
Yes.
And he crashes right into the assembly, and then you're like thinking, oh, idiot. And then you see his body still has the bomb strapped to him, and you're like, oh, you idiot!
Yep.
And then kaboom! The entire science exhibition blows up. And I'm just like going, well done, you just set science back years.
Jesus Christ. Whose idea was to design the propeller to be where the head is?
I don't know. I did, just easily.
Thankfully, their heads are not as close to the propellers. And good thing that they're wearing freaking armor. Specific armor helmets. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, every time I saw him fly, like the propeller, like, man, if you lean a little bit inch forward.
I'm also going to say this too. The armored. Yeah, exactly. I'm also going to say this too, which I thought was really cool. The armored knight corps in the beginning, you actually thought that they were all mechanical and robotic, but then later on, as the battle goes on, no, there are people in there.
Yeah, we didn't even get a chance to talk about Scarlet yet.
Scarlet, like I said in the back room, is that she is a unique character because she starts off as the spoiled brat, but as the movie progresses, you start to really feel for her as a character.
She grew on me now that I'm older. I'll have to confess, when I first watched SteamBoy, I did not like her.
No.
But me grown now, and dude, I've seen SteamBoy multiple times of my time when it was broadcasting on cable, and I still didn't like that bitch before.
She was 100. She was 100% a spoiled brat, and I even love the bit when she sees James runs because he sees that the power's been corrupted. And what I love about the entire thing is that she's in denial of the whole thing. She says, "Well, I'm going to go get James back, and I'm going to tell him what happened, and he's going to see it my way." So, and I'm just like, "Oh God."
Give him a straight talking too.
Exactly. And I love the bit too where she goes upstairs and her assistant, who's doing the sales pitch, by the way, in the middle of a battlefield, which again, my favorite scene of the whole movie. Exactly. And he says, "Why are you attacking Scotland Yard?" And he says, "We have to defend the O'Hara honor." And he just goes, "Well then, make sure that we win this battle." And I'm just, what the
fuck? I actually smiled when she said that.
Well, make sure that we win.
I actually like I said, I didn't like her when I was younger, but like as I older, I somehow grew a fondness for her. Especially when
Humble Marty,
we're arguing with each other, just bickering like real children. Mind you guys, goodness gracious, the realistic depiction of children in this freaking movie. Damn it, freaking Ray
Hmm.
cunts a kid early in the damn movie. By the way, when he's doing what I like to call the baby driver stroll.
Oh yeah.
If you guys don't know what, if you ever watched Baby Driver, the opening where Baby Driver's just after he does that whole car chase, he's going back to his apartment. You know, he's going through all that. He's just strolling, just going through day to day. Or at least you would like to call it the neighborhood stroll. I like to call it the Baby Driver stroll. That's why I'm calling it.
I
But
actually
yeah,
also
he's
think
just
I
strolling
also
after he saves his comrades at the whole maintenance thing, his where he worked at originally in the movie, right? You know,
hmm
he's a chip off the old block from his dad to his grandfather. You know, the boss reprimanded them both, all of them, for having the audacity to defend him, which was good that they still stuck to their guns defending the boy.
hmm
But he's going through the motions and stuff before he goes home to his mom, who also I will I wonder, are those kids adopted
Yes,
or
they're
taken?
adopted because they call her Mrs. Steam.
Yeah,
And I also think it's hilarious because he goes home and does his, daily inventions, all that kind of stuff. But then the very next scene, he's in the corner with a dunce cap on his head. And I'm like, is this guy in school? Oh my God, his mother is actually doing this to him.
punished him for clobbering the
Punish him
kid.
for clobbering the kid and hitting him over the head with a tool, a metal object. And he says, I barely hit him. I barely touched him.
That is a real life kid. That is a
Yep.
real life depiction of a kid.
He goes,
You
I
cannot
barely
convince me
touched him.
otherwise. He straight
Yeah.
said, "I barely touched him." Like, bruh, I seen how you swung that hammer, man.
Yep. And it's like his father says the boy's going to need stitches. Oh, I barely touched him. I'm
Bitch, he
just
gave
like,
him a scar on his face.
bit, yeah, give
He
him.
gonna live with that for the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm. I
You
still
know,
love.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of us that were like Ray at one point, just defending our family honor or defending some form of honor to the point where we just like just had enough of some idiot just beat the ever loving shit out of him.
Yeah, pretty much. I can
Just
attest to
beat
that. I'm
them
not
the
ashamed to
fuck
say it.
up.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I did
I
that.
mean, hell, how like the many instances we seen that shit, freaking Christmas Story.
Oh yeah. But I
Hello.
think like what Humble Marty said, it is very much you can match this film to waltz music.
Mm-hmm. That's House Moving Castle, by the
Well,
way.
it's also pretty hilarious how to move the castle, the control rods almost look like it's an organ.
Yeah, I'm mad that they didn't play no organ music like in
I
Wait
know.
or Die.
Or at the very least, he touches the key on the organ, and on Steam Castle from some certain area, you can see steam firing out.
Oh goodness, don't even get me started on the freaking Steam, the Steam
Yep.
effects,
Oh, the steam effects
and
are amazing.
goodness gracious, man! Every time I saw people getting engulfed in the sea, I was like, oh man, they're gonna get some freezer burn, aren't they?
The
Like
thing that
old
I
boy
also
who looks like Luke Skywalker, but blonde.
speak exactly. Speaking of this battle and how people are acting clumsy, what I loved about the final battle, though brief, is that it actually showed Robert Stevenson, despite being at a technological disadvantage, they were still using conventional methods to try to take down Steam Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Like my favorite part is when they were firing those chains and they were actually trying to use a whole train yard to pull Steam Castle. That was amazing.
Yeah, he was almost a Nick Fury of that side.
Mm-hmm.
You can almost say he was the Nick Fury of the British Empire.
Yep. And I even love the scene too where they're on the Navy ships, the British Navy ships, and they're chasing them through the water, firing.
And then the ice starts forming up underneath the steam castle.
And he just says, "Oh my God." And they're like going, "Ice, that is super pressurized steam, which means if it comes into contact with air, it freezes." And he's like, "Okay, so abandoned ship." That was one of the things I love. He says, "Okay, abandoned ship."
He was so casual. He was so casual about it. Gotta love the British on that front. Well, right, gents. We did our best. Let's get back to dry land.
Right, I believe we've done enough we can today. To dry
I
land.
mean, if you want to go into the hilarious side, deal, freaking the Aqua team try to get on land. You got one of them already walking on the stairs, and one misstep, and it goes down like Ed 209, do, just bouncing off the stairways. And you got the British forces, Stevenson's forces just taking pot shots at these things while they're walking up on the stairs. And really, that's all you gotta do is just kick them back down.
This is Sparta!
Ow, ow,
Oh my
ow,
god,
ow.
how are
I
we
would
gonna
recommend
stop that?
wait there, man. I would recommend kicking them. Let's use the battle round instead. Right, gents, get the battle round, and bing, and bing, and bing, heave, a bing. Just knock their
I
asses
still
back
would
in the
laugh.
water.
See, what would have made that scene perfect is one of the soldiers freaking out and then one of the guys smacking him upside the head saying, "Come on, chap. He says, we may be in the middle of a battlefield, but we're still British. Come on now."
As far as they didn't
He'll
even shoot
still
him in the damn glass, eventually I would say protective glass too. That probably would ricochet off of that too. I'm
Yep.
surprised none of the bullets hit any of them while they're trying to shoot them.
Oh,
Goodness gracious, man.
Why
exactly.
is this guy so common, especially in dangerous situations? Because he's British. Why is this jackass why is this guy such a prick? Because he's
I will still
Australian.
say the highlight animation that really hooked me into to the movie itself from the trailer itself was that one scene where Scarlet was trying to walk up to the enemy with a red umbrella.
With a red umbrella, and they weren't even firing at her, but the cannonball zips right by her.
Yes, just so well animated, so crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! When I first saw it, I thought that was just some random girl walking down the street, and you just see that fucking cannonball just fly past her. I'm like shit. How many times? I'm like, it makes it. Instances like that made me wonder. It made me wonder. Has anybody over across the seas during World War I or World War II ever experienced some shit like that, where they were just casually walking down the street one day, and then suddenly a fucking bullet flies past them?
No, I can't speak to that, but damn.
Just imagine that. Like imagine you're being in a war torn. Well, most likely they would probably be evacuated by then. They probably would have been evacuated. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have experienced something like that at all. But it makes you wonder sometimes, like some of the wars over time evolve to where, hey, get the fuck out of here. We're about to set up an encampment, and we're gonna fuck some guys up. You need to get out of here if you don't want a straight bullet up in your ass. But it makes me wonder, like, what if somebody was walking down the street one time during wartime, didn't even get the memo, and suddenly a fucking tank shell just fly right past them.
I think also what really explained a lot of the character of Scarlet. With it explained a lot of.
She was willing to give him a stern talking to.
She was walking. I think that was kind of funny. She basically says, "I'm going to see the Queen."
During a firefight.
And she's walking past all of.
It's like the commercial in Halo Wars 2, where it's just like the two commanders of the Covenant and the main forces just walking by slowly while time just slowly stops, and yet everything in the whole commotion in this war is just going by with each other. And then we see a money shot, just the two of them just sitting still, confronting each other. Then suddenly forces come in full force, full stop, blank.
Oh goodness, but man, that fight, man, that fight.
But
of course, we cannot.
We have to. Yeah, go ahead, Wolf.
We cannot ignore Ray's ingenuity.
Yep.
How he took one of the steam balls. He managed to get one of the steam balls out of the castle. Now, mind you, this one thing I had to really poke fun of, and I was poking fun during watching this movie. Was the fact this boy survived a lot of shit throughout this movie.
Now that's another Studio Ghibli little highlight right there. Characters who go. Yeah. basically these characters are going through nigh impossible situations, but they're able to make it.
Look, I can believe Chihiro can run down flights of stairs uncontrollably and still hit that wall hard like a fucking cartoon and still survive somehow. I
Mm-hmm.
can I can believe San from Princess Mononoke running down a fucking rooftop, get blasted in front of her, and take at least one pot shot to the face, mind you, and still live. I can almost believe Ray could take a face full of fucking pressurized water through a fucking door.
I can even believe that
I
the
can
character of
barely take
Patsu
that
could
shit. I was
climb.
like,
I can even
I was-
believe the character of Patsu can climb around the castle in the sky and not fall just by holding on to vines.
that
Vines.
and using his own bare feet as freaking friction to Spider-Man his way up that motherfucker.
Yep.
But no. Ray, he almost broke my suspicion of disbelief when he took a face full of fucking water against a metal fucking door.
And
I
this
was
was
like,
before
no
the
fucking way.
and this
Like
was also before.
Patience Phillips from Catwoman didn't even survive that pressurized water.
Can I also say this too? The fact that he was holding on to the ball and was able to open that door with one hand.
Yes.
I mean, you know how reinforced those doors are.
Yes. I'm saying this motherfucker just took a face full of fucking water through a damn metal door,
Mm-hmm.
and he's still swimming.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, Canada, you was not, man. I believe Canada can do this shit, not you. Canada's a teenager, mind you. Y'all know
And he's
what I'm talking about.
a juvenile delinquent, but yeah.
Like I believe juvenile delinquents can survive this shit because they run face first into fucking shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
So of course of course they're gonna be durable. This motherfucker on the hand, I'm like everything else I believe, but it was that part where I'm like, okay, you really movie, you tested my patience with this shit.
Uh-huh.
You are like, I'm not saying
Exactly.
I'm criticizing the physics or any of the shit right there, but when it got, it's just when it got to that water part where he's at the door and he turns about and all his water just start flooding in. I was like, no, you tested my patience, movie. You tested my patience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but who cannot forget that little smidges of romance between him and Scarlet?
I know. Most people would say, oh no, it's a friendship or an antagonistic friendship. No. Did you see the end credits of this movie? How she's looking back at Britain as she's leaving?
We're not there yet.
Her heart is with the SteamBoy.
Of course, but we ain't there
It
yet,
was
man.
quite steamy between the two of them.
I know that, but we ain't there yet, man.
I know. I had to get the pun in.
He couldn't help himself.
I couldn't help myself.
Lips. Jokes. But
Neostar, I will agree with that. Scarlett, the original Karen. I will speak to your manager.
oh, she was ready to
Because,
speak to all
only a
of them,
Karen
man,
would walk in the middle of a...
because
Only-
look, the cannonball flies right past her, almost ruining her dress. Mind you, it was a beautiful dress she was wearing. Almost ruined her dress, ruins her umbrella, and you know what she said? They were being very rude. I was like, wow, that's what that. I wonder, man, if that's what's rude to you, I wonder what a physical altercation would be to you.
I thought that was exactly. But where were we? Okay, so Steam Castle, I love because he takes
We're
one
just
of the
mostly on this
pressurized.
area because this is the biggest highlight of the movie. Really, the other bigger highlight was the chase scene in the first opener with the O'Hara agents and
Yeah.
Lloyd, and that's where Ray pulls out his cool ass monobike. That's goodness gracious, man. When I first saw that thing, I was like, man, I hope he had that shit. That shit got destroyed after the freaking chase scene, and I was
Actually,
disappointed.
for me, the biggest standout moment was when Ray built the when he built his jetpack, that jet's flyer.
Yeah, I was hoping it was gonna stay too.
Well, it's see again. It's been advertised in the movie, but this is one of those things where I really hate. It's on the cover and it's on all the promos and even the trailers, but we only get it for like 15 minutes at the end of the movie.
And that's probably what hurt this movie the most. Bad marketing,
Hmm.
especially in the states here. The way how they market that stuff.
And it is
It's
called Steam Boy, but he doesn't become Steam Boy until like the last 15 minutes of the movie.
yes, that's another thing that hurts this movie. It's a one big bloated origin story
Hmm.
for what, and that's the problem with the marketing, the American marketing. Actually,
Hmm.
the American marketing marketed it as almost like a superhero trailer.
Yeah.
So when we watch it, you're wondering when he's going to get the jet the jumpsuit, the goggles, the little steam powered little thing that he's flying on.
Hmm.
When are we going to get to that? It never gets to that until till the end where him and I believe his name was Jason start having their little fight spat.
Hmm. And then he
And oh my
flies, and
goodness,
he flies, which is really cool because this is a unique little steam powered jet that he has, which is pretty awesome.
oh yeah,
We do get a badass chase scene on up there too.
yeah,
Because here's the thing, if you want to say that there are any real antagonists in this movie, which I actually thought was really cool, it was the two O'Hara agents.
yeah. Alfred Smith and Emma's brother. I don't think they ever gave a name to the other guy.
I just call him Bad Guy 1 and Bad Guy 2.
So
I would just
Alfred's the French guy.
Yes, with
He's the
that
one with
crazy little beard he's got. Or
yeah,
mustache.
he's the one that powers that crane within the steam castle. What you gonna say, Leia?
Oh, I was going back to your point about marketing. Marketing is one of the many reasons good films fly under the radar because the studio doesn't know how to market whatever project they have coming out. So I know many films that people discover later. It's because the marketing was terrible. I don't want to get too far up the subject, but one movie comes to mind is the Gina Davis, Samuel
Cutthroat
Jackson. We called the
Island.
long Cut Through
Oh
Island,
no.
also Long Kiss
No,
Goodnight.
The Long Kiss Goodnight. I love The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah, it's a good film.
Oh,
It is Gina
great movie.
Davis. It's a very good movie. Gina Davis is playing what I think is what an action woman should be, not like we're getting now. But the problem was they didn't market it towards the way it should have been. It should have been marketed more towards women. It should have been marketed towards the ones that sit and watch Sex in
Make
the
it
City crowd. That's what
exactly. Make it The Long Kiss Goodnight should have been marketed as an action film.
Yes, that's what it should have been. But an action film, but their target audience, they should have tried more to get it towards women. Because I think
Yeah.
women would have related to her character. Because, like you said, it is a good film, and she is not one of these. She's believable in her role as this a spy. She's believable.
As an amnesiac spy who gets her memories back.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like thinking if Black Widow lost her memory. So
Mhm.
she's believable in that role. But like you said, it's an action movie, but they should have tried harder to market it towards women. Show it
Mhm.
when women are watching whatever TV shows they're watching, whatever movies they're watching. That's where it should have been marketed at. But they said the studio didn't do that. But if had they done that, I think the film would have done a lot better. But I enjoy it. It's a good film. But
Another thing that kills me is that Shane Black, the guy who wrote Predator, Lethal Weapon, and even Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, did that movie.
yeah, yeah, I read. Yeah, it did. But he's a
This
good writer.
guy knows how to write buddy comedy action films.
Yes, and it is a buddy comedy film. It's just the two are as a man and a woman, but it's
Yeah.
done. It's done in a good way. Samuel
It
Jackson's
mm,
character is written well.
Samuel Jackson's character kills me in that movie, and him and
Yes.
Gina Davis play off each other so well. And what's great is it proved that you can have a male and a female lead without there having to be a romantic chemistry.
You want to
Right.
know?
This is
You know
clearly a
what?
friendship.
Y'all ready
Yes.
for this?
Yo,
Long Kiss Goodnight is a better Captain Marvel movie than Captain Marvel itself.
I was actually gonna say that. I was gonna say that. You whoop, you
I
beat
beg
me
to
to
differ
it.
on that because I think
Yes.
because honestly, you want to know why I think it's the much better Captain Marvel movie than Captain Marvel itself? Alita Battle Angel.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Both of the movies are better than Captain Marvel and any
But
Captain
holy
Marvel
shit,
movie.
they made Rita a fucking robot in once and always.
Yep.
I'm looking at the trailer right of
Rita,
once and
you
always.
bastards, what did you do?
And
Still
it
one of
looks like
the
it's gonna be centered around Trini's sister.
but another thing about SteamBoy, which I really liked too, is that we need to get this movie, like we said, Leia, that this movie was poorly marketed. That doesn't mean that it is a bad movie. It's just, I want what was promised, not some. It's not, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like you can see a movie that's poorly marketed and like it, but it's like, this isn't why I came here.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Again, it goes back to what you said. Just because it's poorly marketed doesn't mean it's not good. It's like you said, it wasn't sold the way it should have been. It just shows
Yeah.
you what idiots movie studios and movie producers are, because they're like,
Mhm.
I don't know what this is. Just throw it out there instead of really giving it the good marketing. Again, I just use Longest This Night as an example. But if the studios were smart, they would say, we'll make this an action movie that women will really like and flock to see. Now, in the case of this right here, I just think the studio just got stupid and didn't know how to market this to an audience. And that's why they didn't catch it. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's like you said, it looked like it wasn't what it was promised, or the studio didn't give them marketing of what it was meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. He doesn't become Steam Boy until the last 15 minutes of the movie. And it does, and believe me, when he becomes the Steam Boy and he's flying around doing his cool thing, it does exactly what was promised. And it's like, yes, this is awesome. This is amazing. We get some action scenes, we get some fight scenes, and then, Steam Boy has to solve the problem. Ray has to solve the problem. He has to stop Steam Castle from exploding because Steam Castle
Above
was
the city.
yeah, because Steam Castle was floated above the city, and if it explodes, it's going to destroy the city. So they have to guide they have to guide Steam Castle back to the river, to the Thames River, and it was amazing. And that was another thing too. I love the fact that at the end of the movie, it was another thing that this ties into the theme of the movie is the generations. You have the father, you have the grandfather, the father, and the son. So it's clearly three stories being told through generations, and each one has a different idea about science and technology. The
And what
grandfather.
would men do with this new technology? Plunge the world into world and chaos? But that very chaos will transform us. The heart adapts to reality. But the heart comes first, Eddie!
And I love
Excellently
that because
delivered
you
by
get
Patrick Stewart back when Patrick Stewart was actually well respected.
Patrick,
Yes.
Patrick
So you
Stewart
mean
and
before
Alfred.
he lost his way?
Hmm?
It was ironic because this is an unlikely combination. This is an unlikely pairing of two actors that have great chemistry together. I mean, I'm going to say it. The last time Alfred Molina and Patrick Stewart played off of, I don't think they were in the same room with each other, but their acting was just so amazing in that scene because you have the two opposing philosophies of what's going on. The grandfather was all about the science was clearly meant to be advancing and bettering mankind and all that. Alfred Molina, however's character Eddie was about, yes, but and he says it's not just tools of the trade for businessmen. And Eddie rightfully says, yeah, but without the businessmen's investments, we can't really get anywhere.
Your grandfather and I were searching for a stable liquid with exceptional purity that was the key to achieving extreme pressure. 3 years ago, we found it in Iceland. In 1863, our effort bore fruit at last. We succeeded in containing the steam in a new way, that in extreme densities and extreme pressures. Extreme density and pressure, look at that. Must you gawk like that? That's nothing compared to Niagara Falls. That ball. That's it, Ray. It is the first steam ball we created. There are three of them now. We built them in Ireland and in Alaska. Together, they provide all the power of every machinery in this castle. Steam ball. They have long. They have long. They have long. Wow. There have long been steam engines that were capable of high output, but all of them require enormous boilers and numerous cylinders, and every one of them absorbs energy. In every step, the system loses power, so it's severely limited. But here lays around you, Ray. This system loses almost nothing from source to function, and the function is almost without limits. All created with my family's money, of course. You know what this means, Ray? Can you imagine it? We mortals can take to the skies. The heavens themselves will be ours. Skies, depths of oceans, places mankind have. We can go there. Take to the sky indeed. I already have two hot air balloons with my name on the sides, and my grandfather has a Zeppelin. I'll do my best British.
Can I also just say this too? Is that it's very clear that the father, while we don't see the antagonism in him, he's definitely a man who believes the ends justify the means. Whereas Eddie, what I love about Eddie and his and grandfather is that again the two opposing sides of science. Whereas James Ray Steam himself, he's kind of caught in between the middle of the two of them.
As much as I like Alfred Molina, I think no, actually, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. I was thinking about having Ian McKellen voice Eddie, but no, they need somebody younger.
Yeah, and Molina has that younger voice of a middle-aged man. Yeah.
And goodness
I
gracious,
also
can we go into his design real quick?
I love his design.
It's so mad sciencey.
It's so
Scientisty.
mad sciencey, but his personality, which I love, is the opposite of that.
Did you think he was kind of like delusional when Ray first meets him again after so many years
Yes.
where they're in the table? Like
Mhm.
everybody's just the way how they convey conversation is so natural in this movie. It's so astonishing because Simon and Scarlett are having a conversation midway while Eddie is talking to his son.
Uh-huh.
In regular typical anime, he would probably the father would ignore his son just to talk to the person who's feeding his banks.
Exactly.
No, Eddie's actually human,
Yeah.
which
And Eddie's
is
talking to his son
crazy.
and completely ignoring his investors because I think he had already deduced in that scene his investors are all in at this point. So he's
When a
really
man
like,
passes his line of pure evil, he is good as dead. The world is waiting for this abomination of the devil. But father told me that he is a fool who sold himself to capitalists who care nothing about science. They worship money. Don't listen to him. He says there are people who are waiting for blessing of science. Only shareholders waiting for blessing of profits. An invention makes with such low purpose can only bring war and misery to the world.
dang.
This is when he meets his grandfather back. Like
Yep.
earlier in the movie, like Lloyd was in control of the situation. He had this controlled fury.
Mhm.
Whereas in later half of the movie and close to the final the final act, he's just like just it almost comes off like a raving lunatic. You almost want to be against him for a while, but then you start
Yeah.
listening to him.
Mhm.
Did any of you guys get that?
Well, he had a hypnotic voice when he was explaining his ambition, and it was a beautiful dream, but he almost never stopped to consider the destruction that would come from it.
In other words, he was very narrow-minded in his pursuit of achieving his goal.
Exactly.
And to answer Neostar's question a lot earlier, did this movie have a sequel? No, it didn't.
No, it did not.
It didn't have a manga either.
No, it
Oh
did not.
God. See,
Now,
that's my
interestingly,
biggest
the
criticism of
manga
this
would have
anime.
served as a continuation for the movie.
It
Anyone
really
listening
would.
to this in a backwatch, we need to correct this immediately.
Wait, what?
I
Why?
said, anybody watching this now and in the future, we must correct this immediately. We must find a way to get a sequel somehow to SteamBoy.
Well,
I don't think we would do it justice though. I mean, we're skilled writers, most of us, but we're not as skilled as Otomo, or at least what he probably. If who knows what was going through his mind when making this movie. I think he just wanted to be a one shot for all we
Mm-hmm.
know. But man, that's my only criticism of this movie is the fact that there's no extra material that came after this. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was almost it was a complete flop here in the States, but it saw some success worldwide, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like this talk between Eddie and Lloyd. Science. It was it must work to advance all of humanity. Are weapons not part of that? Protecting people from conquer and ruin? Rubbish! Science can reveal the first principle of universe, of life itself. It's not to be wasted on the reckless whining of bankers and salesmen. First principle of the universe. Does that include the fairy tale version of Steam Castle you were trying to build? Is that what science for? Science can make humans equal. Don't abuse that word. This has nothing to do with equality, money, profits, naked greed. It was the accident, Ray, that transfigured me, also transformed me. As I faced my death, steam was whirling around me. I saw it, felt it, and then I knew science is power. And this steam castle is the true expression of science and its overwhelming power. The only thing overwhelming here is your arrogance. You're delusional. Delusion? What delusion would that be? Take a look around you, father. We're standing in my delusion. Like, shut up and help me turn that valve over there. What? Which one? He just snapped right back into work. Like, like, I was when I saw it, I was like, damn, Daddy just gave you a verbal spanking. You just hopped to it. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh goodness. So, oh, one thing I liked about Scarlet was that she also helped out with the with moving the Steam castle.
That's another thing that I thought was really cool. Scarlett actually she goes through her own little character arc during this movie, which I loved.
But as things come to an end, you know, the Steam castle blows up over in the ocean when they manage to get across the ocean, and of course Ray gets to play hero, save Scarlet from the impending doom, and both Eddie and Lloyd gets to escape in their own way from the Steam castle. Of course, there is also, of course, the loose ends that that don't really get that much addressed, like Jason revealing himself to be an overly eager innovator as well, just the same as Stevenson.
Mm-hmm.
When he tries to still take back the steam ball from Ray, who's trying to take the steam ball back to give it back to the steam castle so they can move the castle again because it would not move with just only two steam balls, which Eddie himself prematurely jump started, and which is
Yep.
why it was collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Jason, which that was another disappointment for me. I like Jason.
Yeah, I think he's an intriguing character, and I think the movie would have benefited more with having, these like
If
I
he
said, the
stayed that
side.
way.
Yeah, and I don't know, just making him more of like this. It was clear a rivalry was going to develop between the two of them,
Right.
and
It
I
was
would have
I was
enjoyed
hoping.
seeing.
See,
Go
I was
ahead.
hoping he was going to be more of a judo from Berserk,
Yeah.
where he sees both sides, but he ultimately don't chooses a side. He just yes he works for his own games, but he also is exercising responsibility just the same as Ray. Like he's also that answer to some of their points, their viewpoints. He's both he's both Ray and Ray alike. They're both standing in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of this conflict, choosing not to get into it at times, but are willing to step into it when it ultimately goes too far. And I was hoping at the end, especially with that slideshow at the end of the credits, I was hoping Jason would have been his AWACS or his Alfred to his superhero persona SteamBoy. Which
Mm-hmm.
again, another point of contention. We only for what we're currently seeing of the title character, we only see it at the end of the credits,
Yeah.
which is fine, I guess. But we kind of want him to be that during the movie. Of course, he loses his little flying machine when he crashes it inside and run out of steam for that one. So he ends up using his dad's mode of escape from the steam castle should things go tits up, which
Mm-hmm.
is what he's wearing in this art piece right here that I'm presenting right now. He's got
Yep.
the jumpsuit with the steam powered rocket booster, fulfilling the
Which
Rocketeer. Uh,
persona?
yeah, I was gonna
Well,
say
which I kind
comparison.
of thought was hilarious because the steam. This is another thing I thought was cool was that he invented the steam powered platform that he was riding on, almost like a Green Goblin aesthetic. But then at
Hmm.
the very end of the movie, he flies out via Rocketeer.
Yeah, I kind of wish he would have rebuilt that thing.
Me too.
It would have been really cool if he uses
It
like say
also
for
would have
instance he
made.
uses that for like how a space shuttle gets into space.
Yeah, exactly. I also thought it would have been cool if he re-engineered with the steam ball. That way he can it because it's always implied but never directly stated that the steam ball is concentrated steam, so it's an unlimited supply.
Hmm. He still got the doesn't he still have the schematics?
I think Robert Stevenson still has it, which would explain why they were making such technological leaps forward.
There's also this little excuse me, partner that joins him later on as the years go by. But we also get a scene where he reunites with his grandfather for one last time.
Yep.
So the steam castle blows up, but Eddie, like I said, Eddie and Lloyd escape. It's implied that they escaped together in a secret escape sub.
Hmm.
It's implied, but they went their separate ways once they got away from their son grandson. It's like they were trying to I would say Lloyd I would say Eddie was trying to hide from his son, but Lloyd wanted to make sure that he gets to reunite with Ray one last time, and he does, and guess what he discovers,
Go ahead. I
or
know
what
you want to say
or what
it.
or what he makes and
Go ahead. I
gifts,
know.
and is his final gift to Ray: electricity.
Yep. He gives him electricity. That was pretty awesome. And I think that's what I liked about it is that Steam Boy, this movie, is clearly taking place during a steampunk era, but it's clear in the montage at the very end. They're not moving away from steam power, but they're looking for alternatives to it. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, of course, sad news is that his grandfather passes afterwards, and of course he attends the funeral and gets one good look at his grave. And now his father is a megalomaniac, meaning possibly he has learned nothing, or maybe he did learn something and still pushes forward with his mechanizations.
Yep.
Because we get a good shot of him honestly standing over a techno industry while World War I is going on.
Yep.
And then a final shot of Scarlet, now an aviation pilot, with
And apparently,
possibly the Wright brothers. It looked like
with the Wright brothers, exactly, where they were developing a futuristic, a futuristic airplane.
in
But
a
I also
Rhea.
have to say this too. Somehow Scarlet went from blonde to red. I don't know how. I don't know why. But okay,
My speculation is she separated herself from her family, so she dyed her hair.
that could make sense.
Either that, or this is my theory. She is the real Amelia Earhart.
Oh, that would have been that would be amazing. That Scarlett O'Hara actually that Scarlett O'Hara shed the O'Hara name and became Amelia Earhart.
Oh,
Change
actually,
her.
that's why. That's probably why. Because get it, Scarlet. Scarlet, because now her hair was blonde, but now she has red. Get it, Scarlet.
I know,
That
yeah.
Yeah.
she's also wearing a
That's
red
true. That
jumpsuit.
was another thing. That was another thing that killed me. Scarlet, and she's got a red aesthetic going on, but that's
And
why
her
her name is
clothing, but now
in
it's
her
to her
clothing.
hair.
But now it's in her hair.
Well, see that's another thing. Like seeing her in that in, in her full glory, that hyped me up. Like
Mhm.
she's gonna be like the Red Baron or something, or she's
Mhm.
gonna help. She's gonna aid Ray in his adventures now while he's flying his little steam jetpack with his partner.
Well,
She got her airplane to help him take cross distances and stuff like that.
yeah.
Like
I mean, that would
it
have been
laid
amazing.
open for some more stuff. I was like, it's killing me just thinking about it. Just there was so much potential with this story.
I know. It would have been beautiful.
I cry on the inside thinking about it now.
Plus, I love the end credits song is just amazing. It's like bum 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 ba da dun dun da da da
Very
dun dun.
heroic, very
Very, yeah.
Jerry Goldstein ish.
Yeah, and it's very subtle. I mean, yeah, it builds up with its orchestra, but the tune remains very simple because it's simple and it's upbeat. It's not showing a dark post-apocalyptic world. No, it shows a world that does have problems, but at the same time, um it's not it's a far cry away from a
Oh,
doomed future.
there is a video game.
There is?
There is?
Yes, I forgot about that. There's a PS1 video game actually.
There's a
PS1.
video game?
Yep.
Wait,
Or
when did this movie come out?
PS2,
Or
not
PS2,
PS1.
actually.
2000. It came out
Oh,
in
yeah, that explains it.
2004.
Yeah,
It came out in
2004.
2004.
Game Boy was
PS1,
later
my
adapted
god.
to a video game for PS2 in Japan by Bandai, mostly released in Japan. We have to take a look at this one day.
Oh, you bastards.
I think
You
that
mostly
you know
released it
what?
in Japan, you bastards.
You know what? I think that's the sequel. Cause I'm looking on Bing right now, and there's a picture. It's more of an ending scene with Ray flying on a plane with Scarlet, or maybe they're exiting somewhere, and she's in her pilot outfit that she was shown in the ending, but she has her blonde hair again. Oddly enough, she has her blonde hair again. I guess somebody didn't get the memo that she changed her hair to red.
Maybe it's just a video game adaptation of the movie.
Could be, but he's still wearing that jumpsuit apparatus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that flying machine that he flies in the first half of the final act, it's in the promotions. Oh, I was looking for the picture of him and his partner, and they're looking at a Zeppelin blowing up. I think that's probably referencing the Hildenberg,
Yep.
because Ray's face is more shocked than determined.
I
So
wonder
I'm
if
gonna.
he's actually saying the horror, the horror,
We were too late.
the horror, the horror.
You funny. I could be wrong. It may have seen some limited U.S. release. But yeah, Steam Boy had a video game. Not that I know
That was
of.
Yeah,
But
and I did look it up, and yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Japanese exclusive.
damn.
you bastards. You
I
selfish
know.
bastards.
Never made it over to the states, probably because the movie was pretty much a flop when it came out here in the U.S. Here in the U.S., probably that's probably why they didn't do it.
Don't give me excuses. Give me
Again,
results.
but once again, this is a result of poor marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So any final thoughts?
Sounds actually
Um,
pretty cool. I'm actually gonna have to watch it one day.
it's a
This is
great
my fifth
movie.
time watching it.
It's
What?
a great
Well,
movie. A solid 10 out of 10. I recommend it to anybody.
well, from what I was able to have, excuse
Extrapolate.
me. Yes. From what I was able to extrapolate from bits of the movie that I've seen, I would yeah, I would give this movie a solid recommendation because as as everyone pointed out, this is the gold standard of how to write a steampunk story.
Leia, would you be willing to give it another shot? Maybe your opinions might change over time.
Perhaps I may get another shot. Maybe sometime in the future, revisit it and look back at it again, and perhaps see, do I still feel the same way as I did? So I would give it a second shot, but not right now. But maybe when I have just some extra free time, and I say, I'll go back and rewatch this again and see how I feel.
I thank everybody for being here. Those three, four of you and those nine system motherfuckers keep popping in and out. Thank you for joining us today for talking about a I gotta say let me just throw that out there right now. This movie was as much as I criticized it here and there, it's light criticism, mostly poking fun. It was near dear to my heart. It's one of those movies where I see I see for what it was. But thank you for guys for hearing us talk about this movie and getting a little sidetracked here and there, but still staying on point. I think the lovely developer finally trying something.
You're gonna hold that with you for the rest of my days. this is this is
I
Leah
mean, you
plus.
tried a few things. I'm not saying
I
I'm not
know,
saying that you didn't.
I know, I
I'm
know.
just
You're
saying
right.
in the rows of anime that we were checking out, you were just absent.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
I
anime is not her strong suit, dude.
yes,
I
anime is.
know that, but I'm picking out the anime that might suit her needs. That might feel familiar. The ones that don't have the bug eyes and the pop up jump screen. The ones that are a bit more grounded ish.
Well,
And you
look,
just
man,
recommended me
it's
that
the
this
finish.
was Clone, and it's a fantasy mecha, and that's considered grounded. Or
Look,
watching
man,
JoJo's
it's
Bizarre
been
Adventure, and that's not grounded.
We're gonna kidnap her
well,
for any one of those anyway. So
I'll
what
get
you
my sword if
bitching
you
about?
do it.
Oh no.
look, man, it's been established that Leia isn't new when it comes to Eastern storytelling.
This
Besides
is our
manga and anime,
testing
we
bed
need to we
to
need to
convert
ease her
her.
in. All right.
I know we're easing her in. I'm easing her in with SteamBoy, General Gal, Blue
Summer
Seed, and
Wars.
Summer Wars, the Boy and His Beast, and Blue Gender, and Vampire
Neostar,
to Deep Bloodlust.
Neostar, it's okay. You found out now, which is very important. As grounded as Chris Hemsworth ripping wood. Hey,
Marty,
Don't
do you
you
mean
freaking
Chris?
dare.
Do you mean
God damn it!
Marty? You meant Chris Evans, humble
I bet you
Marty.
if Ray was built like this, you probably would have
That's
liked it more.
no
Or maybe
good.
you just need to blow off some steam.
What? Hey, a girl can have her favorites. Humble
Of
Marty, I think you
course, of
meant Chris.
course. I'm just want to make sure you're still alive, Leia. Don't worry. The hot spring's ready for you.
Ugh.
But I think Marty meant Chris Evans ripping wood. That's probably what you were thinking. ah,
Damn, Marty barely even said
Will.
anything in this show. I was hoping she was gonna say something witty, but here she is, witty.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did. Yep, she just got
Speaking
her
of which,
Chris's
I hope
cross.
she's gonna get herself ready for April 4th because we will be interviewing her on her stories on April 4th.
Hmm.
I still don't know the name of her freaking book series, but we're gonna be talking about them on April 4th. We're also got the we're still around the corner the Akira manga studies for volume 3, which we will be having a returning guest fa- excuse me, a guest friend, the booze making mother Janelle, coming back for
Woo!
us for
On the
that one
28th, right?
on the 28th. Yes, April 11th, we're doing our Marvel Knights early movie Marvel movies, that is, ideas with the Gladiator KO himself, Matthew Flynn. Keep your eyes open for that one because we'll be talking about our version of Marvel Knights. That means you guys gotta pitch the who picked what.
Well, I
I
picked
know I said
Daredevil.
I know I said did I say Ghost Rider?
Yeah, you said Ghost Rider. I said Punisher.
Okay. You got you say you got this on Daredevil?
Yes.
And that leaves final with
I'm just gonna
Blade.
be there. Or no,
Oh
no,
no
I'm
no!
just
I
doing
said
this.
no wait. I said I was gonna do Blade Trinity, my rewrite of
Mhm.
Blade Trinity, and it's gonna branch off of that
Yeah,
as
I mean,
well.
I'm
But
just already doing this with every one of them because I already have them trying to think of them in mind for the Marvel Anthology series by sometime in the future.
right, so I got Blade. Um, Leia has Daredevil. I need to write that shit down. Let me write that shit down so I won't.
Because I already had like only quite a few ideas for the Marvel Anthology series, but I would need to figure out exactly
No, we're gonna
how.
do our own little
Yeah,
fucking dark ass Marvel Knights shit
yeah,
while they're
because it's
doing their
covering
own
specifically
miniseries.
the darker Marvel heroes.
Right. Okay. Let's see. That's me flipping my page of my stolen notebook. I did steal this from somebody, and they had the audacity to draw a dick in one of the first pages. That's funny.
Oh
You
my god.
funny motherfucker. So that's probably for somebody who will take it. I guess this Mister. Oh, it's a lieutenant colonel. Oh, you disarming the damn colors, man. All right. So I have Blade. Leia has Daredevil. So you have Punisher.
Yep, I have Punisher.
Punisher. Don, you have who? Were you gonna
I
participate?
volunteered for Ghost Rider.
Right. Dom has Ghost Rider. All right. So I have everybody where they need to be. You guys write that story in. I'm gonna be talking about a rewrite of Blade Trinity, and that's where we're gonna jump off into Marvel Knights on that one. That'll be our jump off movie. Is that okay?
Hmm.
Yeah. Fine.
So the Blade movie's going to kick off the Marvel Knights.
Mm-hmm.
I
With
love it.
with the hint of a Night Stalkers having their own little. Actually, that's what we be building up to the Night Stalkers uh mini series
Fantastic.
Marvel
because that's what
Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfect, in
not
Rise of
that
the
one.
Imperfects, or no, not that I know, but totally should have included Blade and Ghost Rider. The movie, or not the movie, the game itself was a bit obscure anyway. But so,
It's not bad, however, it could have done better.
Yeah, and really nobody even cares about the imperfects because who the fuck are they?
Good
Well,
question.
you see, the imperfects were actually a rife with potential, if handled properly.
The imperfect should coincide with the Inhumans. They should have
Oh,
been the answer to the Inhumans.
don't get
Like
me
a complete
started on the
opposite.
Inhumans. It hurt. It just the Inhumans hurt. It hurt.
Hey, hey, back then they were treated with respect before Marvel Comics decided to try to make them the replacements for the X-Men because they didn't have the film rights.
This is why I say they should have been the answer to the Inhumans because the humans were created by alien means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So so what if the,
Yeah, along with the Eternals, rather, because they had some history with the Eternals.
Well, the Eternals are an evolutionary offshoot of humanity,
Mm.
so they're still human. Like even if they were touched by space gods, in this case, the Celestials.
Yes.
well, we're not
But
factoring
the,
the Eternals. What I'm saying is the humans versus the Imperfects. They're both created by two alien beings, and one of them was at war with each other. Whereas
well,
the humans had different means of their bio the yeah, wow, I cannot word. Their
I
biology is of cosmic origin, right?
Yes.
yes,
In
yes,
fact, their
and
base
they
is
and
on
they,
the
they,
its
they
base
possess
is on the moon, where the Watcher's at. Uwatu.
yeah the blue side of the moon, and the only way for them to unlock their natural superhuman abilities is through the Terrigen process.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas the imperfects are Frankenstein in that factor.
Mm.
Forced human evolution, if you will.
Mm. Like you're saying they could have just been like the exact opposite, like adversaries to the Inhumans, or just foils.
I would
Hmm.
say I would say foils than adversaries.
Oh yeah, okay, leaning more into the adversary part. Okay.
In
No,
the
no, no. I said
uh,
no, I said foils.
Oh
They're foils of the Inhumans instead of
and they're called
adversaries.
the imperfects because of some things happening in their origins, which is freak accidents.
mm,
Whereas the the Inhumans get to they kind of get to have their regular bodies to some extent, whereas the imperfects are, as I said earlier, Frankenstein
yes.
badly. They could, like I said, whenever time I see an idea failing, I can see where I would have done something with them. And if I was still having the imperfects, yeah, I would actually fit them into that whole dilemma.
Mm. They kind of look like toys in the game. Like just by looking at them, they just look like toys.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's when they had that glossy look. A lot of games had a bit of a gloss to their look, and it was
Mm.
not that great. But like I said, we'll touch on that when we get to that part of the stream in April 11th.
Right.
Of course, in June 6th, yes, like you gotta wait for your meal. We'll be doing the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Ooh, the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies, to be
Yeah.
exact.
Yes,
Yes. Yes. The Peter Jackson film. I'm patient. That gives me
good.
time to go back into my collection and relook and go over the points I will cover. Do you think we're going
Rejoice,
to be able to
Leia. You
cover
get huh?
No, go ahead.
Rejoice, Leia. You want to actually venture into this one. We will definitely do an anime spotlight quickie this weekend, where we talk about the OVA Tekken Blade Twin Blood. I hope you
Hmm.
motherfuckers watched it.
Hardly, because I was not much of a big fan of Mecha.
It's
I
not
have not
mecha.
watched it yet.
Oh,
It's not mecha.
oh, it isn't. Oh yeah.
No, it's Super Warrior,
Oh,
Sentai ish.
okay. Then
You gotta remember Space Knight Tekken Man.
okay.
It's brief. It's only like 9 minutes, so just watch it. It's I would like to call it like a animation testing bed. It kind of reminds me of what's his face who did Voltage Fire Gal Kaiser. Oh God, we gotta talk about that one at some point. Who's with me?
I am not familiar with that, so I
You're
will.
not watching it.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
I'm out.
yeah,
That
and I
counts
ain't
me
watching
out.
it. I ain't watching it either because in order for me to rewatch other anime, because I'm just gonna be watching a bunch of other anime that I have listed down that I have.
No, you're not watching it because I want to keep your eyes innocent.
Okay then.
Oh my
Just me,
god.
Dom, Spooner, and maybe Neil Star. Because I'm kidnapping his ass for once. He talking this shit in the damn chat. He gonna be in it one day.
So give me the date again.
On Gal
On
Kaiser?
I think he said it's on no, not on June 6th. That's from the Lord of the Rings.
No,
Um,
I haven't listed it yet. I haven't did anything with it yet. We're doing a quickie one
Okay.
towards this Saturday or Sunday.
I don't know if I'll be available, but
Oh, if you're not, you're not. I just know I'm not gonna be alone talking about this shit.
yeah.
Galactic Siege crossover series gave me an idea. Tell me Blade kind of reminds me about. It does. It is kind of, but I believe Space Knight Tekken Man Blade was before Guyver. Owen might contest me with that.
I, s- I still need to watch Man Blade.
We've already talked about it, so it's available for free on YouTube. Just one 2 hour long splicing of the episodes into one big movie. If you want to watch the sub version, you actually get to see the unedited version. If you want to see the American version, oh, you're definitely seeing the edited version. Goodness gracious, Eloise had a struggle with that one,
So
and
we're
she
talking
understood why.
really dark and extremely violent.
Yeah, but they um, the problem is they rearranged some of the episodes too,
Oh, okay.
and rearranged some of the scenes, and yeah, like she noticed the inconsistencies, which good on her for noticing for catching that. But yeah, we talked about Tekken Man Blade, which is another anime that was near and dear to my heart because I watched it so much when I was a kid, back when it was called Techno Man. That science means that science only tells me that you guys agree that that's the dumbest name you could ever give to such an
I
awesome
don't
character.
know anything
Hmm.
about it. I don't know anything
Very
about
dumb.
it. I can't say.
He is Techno Man.
I haven't seen it.
Techno Power Blasters. Goodness gracious, that is not what they're called in the actual translation. Techno Power Blasters my ass. I used to scream that shit when I was a kid, and I can't believe I was deceived by America. America propaganda, communist splicing in shit.
that's just baby proofing it all.
Pretty much. Shit, they even I think they I think they try to make it seem like his sister take a man raped here. Just the way I arranged the episode in this one where she dies. Yeah, she dies in the episode, but they made it seem like she exploded. But she lived and just decided to travel the world and just leave her brother forever. I'm like, fuck you. She died. Kid me
No,
knew
she
she
didn't.
dead.
No, she didn't. She left the planet and went home forever.
No, that bitch died. His sister
No,
died,
she didn't die. She just went home.
right? Yeah, they actually at first they showed the episode the first time, and they then they re showed the episode but they give this little ending scene where she walks away in her hoodie and cloak thing, and I'm like, no, the fuck, she ain't alive, she dead. Fucking lying to my ass and shit, lying to all of us and shit. She dead. You want to know how I know she dead? She didn't show up in the next episode.
No, she went home.
My plan needs me.
So then, how did
Anyways,
she die?
she exploded. She got jumped by his brother and the rest of their family, and she did the one thing she could do to protect her brother and everybody else who are the Earth Force. She called upon her power and exploded. She was dying anyways, unfortunately, because her body did not survive the Rodham trans uh transfiguration transfiguration. Because when the Rodham capture you, they put you in pods, and when they capture you in pods, you become one of them, or at least one of their warriors. This is a different timeline and a different take on the Space Knight Tekken Man. I don't know what Space Knight Tekken Man Blade was like. I just remember this Tekken Man Blade being the fact that it could be organic armor that comes on them, but it's hardened. But it's weird. And it's cool that way of how weird it is. And the Rotom are vicious, dude. It's an invasion throughout this whole series. An invasion where they cannot they Earth is hanging on a thread when they're on the thread of the Rotom. And the only answer to the Rotom is Tekken Man Blade. And the only reason why Tekken Man Blade fights alongside them because his dad manages to get out of the pod and get him out of his pod when he was almost near completion, where his mind gets all scrambled up. I'll tell you guys another time later. Thank you, Leia, for actually watching this movie.
You're very welcome. Well,
So that's
very
a little
welcome.
Leia Valor. Uh, damn, I went through too long for the D introduction. The Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure you ring that notification bell, that way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to 1210 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. And be sure you stay tuned on my channel this Thursday as as episode 4 of Comic Studies will be coming up, which will be covering this second to last story of Justice League, the world's greatest superheroes, covering Wonder Woman, the Spirit of Truth. And also stay tuned this Friday as I will cover episode 3 of Final Fantasy Rolls, covering the Red Mage class. Then on March 31st will be the final story for Justice League World's Greatest Superheroes, covering Justice League, Liberty, and Justice. And on April 6th will be the week before my birthday, will be episode 6 covering Kingdom Come. Be sure you stay tuned for that.
Why you gotta be an overachiever?
I plan ahead, bitch.
No shit.
Or bastard, actually. Actually, yeah, I plan ahead, busted. Anyway, and also, be sure you stay tuned in June. I didn't set a specific date on where, but I'll try to find someday. But in June, episode 7 of Comic Studies, as celebration for Superman's 85th anniversary this year, I'll be covering Superman for all seasons. And be sure you stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a doozy. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off. And remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
Man, one of these days, I'm going to start doing an animated short for all of us. And every time when your characters pop up, when Final Fantasy fans character pop up, it says overachiever. Then Don's character pop up, it says the second overachiever.
Don't you call Scooty that too?
Yes, the overachiever.
You'll call many of us overachievers. You're like, you fucking overachiever.
And then there's Leia, the absentee.
Oh, come Oh, come on.
When we when we do an anime when do an anime spotlight opener, it'd be like Wolf Commander, the Wolf Commander, the hard ass
Oh my
Final
god.
Fantasy fan, the overachiever. Dominic Powell, the second overachiever. The the Schooner of the Tuna, the triple overachiever. Then Leia, the absentee, and it'd be a
Oh,
silhouette of her with a question mark.
oh my god.
The
God.
words, just Wolf Tent Media, just the hard ass. I cannot imagine words that describe someone so perfectly than well they being hyperbolic.
Oh, oh yeah. Okay. I mean, the guy has come a long way from getting out of his like nihilistic perspective.
Oh yeah, true
However,
that.
Oh!
yes,
I got one for Eloise. I got
Uh-oh,
one
what
for
is it?
Eloise. Eloise, the viewer, the tardy.
Oh.
yeah, yeah. I think that's appropriate.
She
Holy
running in there
dream.
Like
with
the
a
she'd be
sandwich in
like
her mouth.
the one student.
Yes.
She'd be like the one student just who then just falls asleep in class.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, also like with each of us, like we're different shades of idealism and optimism to act as a balancing act for 12 days cynicism.
Mm.
The
Hmm.
Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us in tonight's live stream as we give our honest impressions of SteamBoy by the manga of Akira Otomo. If there are any other movies, TV shows, mangas, or anything else in between that you'd like us to discuss in the future, make sure you put them down in the comment section down below. At the same time, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to Wolfton Media's channel. This is the Hound of the South, Darling Powell, and remember to keep hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world because there are people out there that wants to bring everyone down to their level, even making the
Mhm.
world darker, even though it's not always the case.
Before he falls asleep on us, he is the Schooner Tuna.
Coming at you live from a secret government facility buried deep underground but has excellent Wi-Fi, this is Schooner Tuna. And if you like what you saw, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want us to cover another anime movie or spotlight a manga, let us know down in the comments below. Until then, this is Schooner Tuna signing off. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Bloop, 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 motherfuckers. This has been Welcome at Wolftan. Remind you guys once again that you are the UN Spacey. Yeah, I know Bucky's gonna be in Tekken 8. I'm still a question for the life of me. How the fuck they fit Noctis in Tekken 7?
Because they wanted him to be in there.
I guess Final Fantasy 15 was
Well,
still
that's a
hidden at
possible
the
reason.
time. Anyways, the Wolf Commander bids you. You are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
All right. Now